There's no fire inside of you, only darkness. It sustains you, drains you of any desire. Your only joy is in causing death, and even that is fleeting. But killing is the only thing that matters, because you are by nature a murderer. Hello and welcome to Hunter x Hunter 101, the series that breaks down everyone and everything in the Hunter x Hunter world. And today, we are going to be exploring the terrifying expressionless assassin, Illumi Zoldyck. Illumi Zoldyck is a tall, slender man, aptly aesthetically characterized by his long jet black hair and ever so large similarly black eyes, which seem to be entirely devoid of pupils. And as much as I'd love to tell you about Illumi's personality, to say that he has one is a bit of a stretch. Illumi's crowning feature is instead his almost complete lack of emotion, or more accurately, display of emotion. As a result, he is frequently portrayed as one of the coldest characters in the series. However, deep, and I mean very deep down, there certainly are a degree of complex thoughts and feelings within Illumi. And to really understand this, it initially needs to be said that Illumi is the firstborn child of Silva and Kikyo Zoldyck, the leaders of the world's most famous family of assassins. Therefore, as a child, Illumi was trained in the industry of murder, which is an art form that Illumi excelled at, and to this day performs to a clinical standard of perfection. However, the ruthless degree to which Illumi and the rest of the Zoldicks carry out their profession does not necessarily apply to their familial relationships, as in many ways the Zoldicks function as a fairly regular household. A primary example of which here would be Illumi's relationship with his younger brother Killua. Throughout the entirety of the series, Illumi is a clear antagonist to Killua. However, this spawns from a twisted form of love and overprotectiveness that Illumi harbors towards his younger brother. Throughout Killua's childhood, Illumi assisted their father in training him and even inserted a somewhat mind-controlling needle into his head to ensure that Killua only ever faced an opponent that he was 100% sure that he could defeat. Speaking of needles though, they appear to be Illumi's favorite weapon to use in combat, and he possesses at least 3 different kinds that, when infused with Nen, can be utilized in different ways. This is because Illumi is a manipulator and is thus capable of using his aura to directly control living or non-living beings. And Illumi makes great use of his Nen affinity by coating needles in his aura, which once coming into contact with a target will provide Illumi with direct control of their actions. One such Hatsu is known as Needle People, which involves Illumi piercing the skull of a living person with one of his needles. And from there, Illumi is able to issue the individual with a command, which the target will then be forced to complete or die in the process. Quite notably though, should a needle person complete their mission and survive the ordeal, then they will still be rendered crippled for the remainder of their lives. Although an even greater method of manipulation is demonstrated in the corpse control Hatsu, whereby Illumi can manipulate a deceased individual by piercing their head with many needles. Illumi's corpse puppets are then capable of complex actions such as speaking or driving, and for all intents and purposes they could pass for an autonomous living person. However, it is implied that corpse control requires significantly more time and effort to enact than Needle People. Although Illumi can also use his abilities in more subtle, less murdery ways, the primary example of which being Hypnotic Spell. This was the technique that he performed on Killua by inserting an aura-clad needle into his brain with a set of orders or conditions. Unlike the other methods of manipulation, in this case the target does retain full autonomy with the sole exception of when they violate Illumi's conditions, which in this case of Killua was to never engage in combat with an opponent with which he is unsure of victory. And the consequence for doing so was an overwhelming feeling of fear, which in some cases was even able to cause paralysis within Killua. And finally, Illumi is also entirely capable of using his needle powers on himself, by placing them strategically around his body in order to completely change his appearance. Although according to Illumi, this transformation is exceptionally painful to endure. Although it would be in this form that we were first exposed to the character of Illumi during the Hunter exam arc. Illumi needed to acquire his Hunter's license for an upcoming assassination mission, however he was also taking the exam out of concern for Killua, who had run away from the Zoldyck estate, and decided to take the exam for fun. Under these conditions, Illumi assumed a new face and called himself Gitaraku, and for most of the exam he was a fairly quiet individual who passed each stage with ease. In fact, during the 4th phase, Illumi completed his condition so quickly that he even had time to dig a hole and take a nap. Take a nap inside the hole, that is. Look, don't judge it until you've tried it. But something that was brought to our attention during this portion of the story is the fact that Illumi appears to, somehow, have formed a strange bond with Hisoka Moro. For whatever reason, these two will often be seen working together, although Illumi has acknowledged that he always believed this relationship would end with one of them killing the other. In any case, Illumi's clever ruse would be revealed in the final stage of the Hunter exam, and due to the effects of Hypnotic Spell, Illumi was able to force Killua to forfeit a match against him and go on to obtain his Hunter's license. Illumi then went on to make sporadic appearances throughout the series, but arguably his most important role would be during the 13th Hunter Chairman election arc, in which he was the primary antagonist. During this time, Illumi's goal was to kill his younger sister Aluka, who harbored a being from the Dark Continent inside of her. This creature, named Nanika, had seemingly infinite power, expressed through the medium of wish granting. However, they came at a horrific cost that increased in direct correlation to the power of the wish desired. Fearing that Killua would use the wish to restore his friend Gorn, Illumi began a campaign of unrivaled slaughter, enlisting an absurd amount of Needle People as well as Hisoka to help him. However, in this case, Illumi had a very uncharacteristic secret goal in mind, mind, whereby he was planning to take control of Alaka's abilities, showing for the first time in the series Illumi's deep-seated emotions of desire and lust for power. Although in the end Illumi does acquiesce that Killua is the only one who can control Alaka, although that just changed Illumi's focus to controlling Killua in order to control Alaka by proxy. But putting that aside for now, Illumi's most recent mission in the series has to do with longtime partner in crime Hisoka, as it seems their relationship has finally hit its climax, with Hisoka putting out a hit on himself and actively hiring Illumi to try and kill him. And in this effort, Illumi has temporarily joined the Phantom Troop and boarded the Black Whale 1, a vessel bound for the Dark Continent. Some more fun facts about Illumi. Illumi's reign is said to be one of the most sinister and terrifying in the entire series, and allegedly can be felt from several hundred meters away. Moving on to some differences now. In the 1999 anime series, Illumi actually engages in brief combat with Gon following the Hunter exam. Moving to the 2011 anime series though, there is a continuity error in which Illumi makes an appearance in Killua's flashback, sporting his trademark long black hair. However, in another flashback set in the same time period, he is shown to have short hair. And finally, a truly useless fact. In the Hunter x Hunter databook, the official spelling of Illumi's name is Yelmi Zaldik. Oh, databook, you've done it again. This is why no one reads you. But that pretty much does it for Illumi Zoldyck. If you enjoyed this video and the content this channel produced in general, then please do consider donating to the New World Review Patreon, because the support of all of you amazing people is what continues to make this channel possible. And if Patreon isn't quite your style, then please do leave this video a like, share, or subscribe, because it also helps support this channel an incredible amount. And if you'd like to join the fun at any time, then please do head over to my Discord server, where a wide array of shenaniganry takes place on a daily basis. And finally, please do comment with who, what, or where you'd like to see featured on the next Hunter x Hunter 101.